Hello.
Hello. All right, so we have Eddie, Pegram, Clark, Pegram, Clark. Who's Twister 107?
I'm sorry, what?
Who's Twister 107? That's David?
Might be, I'm not sure.
I think it might be. Kaylin. Hey, Kaylin. Pegram, Mr. Curtis, Clark.
Yes, it is me.
It is indeed.
Sorry, my mic was off, so that's why you couldn't hear me.
I could see you talking though.
Yes. Also, big surprise. I have my own laptop. That's what I'm talking on now.
Hey, that must feel good.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
And it's red.
Whose house background noises do I hear?
Oh, that's mine, sorry.
Okay.
That's better.
Your laptop is red?
Yes.
Cool. What kind is it?
HP.
Do you love it?
Yes, I just got Wednesday and I already love it.
How long did it take you to get it set up the way you wanted it?
About an hour.
Not bad.
Maybe 30 minutes. I don't know.
All right, we'll wait a few more minutes. How's everybody? Who's tired of being quarantined?
Hey, literally all the YouTubers are quarantined too, so they keep complaining too. It's not making it fun anymore.
What do you mean? Because they're complaining?
Yes, some of them are.
Hmm.
Yeah, and some of them are duos, and they can't be near each other, so they have to talk via Discord, and it makes one of them sound so robotic.
Hmm.
Yeah, or people will bring it up. I'm just thinking in my head, we get it. It sucks. We're all in it. I don't
They're
think we
all
all.
in it.
Yeah, I just keep thinking in my head. You don't think we all know that this sucks? But good Lord, I'm just ready for this nonsense to be over with.
I don't think it's anytime soon.
Yeah, the way people are being idiots still going out.
Yeah.
Because let's just face it, that's just in human nature being stupid. That's just.
You're human. Does that include you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I will admit I make stupid choices.
Okay.
Don't act like you haven't made stupid choices.
Oh, I didn't even come close to claiming that.
No, but you were selling me out. I was like, wait a minute.
That's right. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Anyone who does say they've never made any stupid choices, you're a liar. Right?
To all of you who came today, even though school is technically closed, thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. But like I said, what else do you have to do?
Play video games on my new
Yeah,
laptop.
I'm sure you don't get enough time doing that.
On my new laptop.
Mm.
Yeah, a game that I haven't been able to play in 4 years because our old computer broke.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and start. So we did chapters 9 and 10 for today. And when we left off on chapter 8, we had Simon, who had gone to his glade where he's set apart from everyone and out there in nature. And what has he come across when he went to be by himself?
A creature.
Guys, what did he find? This is from the last time when we talked. What did he find when he went to his glade?
Was it
that freaked him out?
Oh,
I was about to say some sort of like the pilot, and he thought it was a creature, but no, that was the other two by the beach.
No, Lara, what were you going to say?
The beast.
The what? Think of the title of the book, people.
Oh,
Oh, I know.
What is the flies?
The there's like the severed pig's head.
Right. So a few of you were saying it. So yeah, that's when he came across the pig's
Oh
head.
yeah, that would scare the crap out
Jack
of
and
me.
his guys they'd cut the head off the pig and they had the stake sharpened at both ends. They had it in the ground. They had the pig's head on it. And he thought the pig head was talking to him. It was surrounded by flies and he had this really weird experience and he ended up fainting because it was so bizarre.
What is up with people's obsession with cutting off heads and putting them on sticks?
Well, what is up with that?
Because I
I
mean,
want
that
you to
fills
answer
up
that.
some.
Answer that. That's a great question. What is up with that? Why is that happening?
No, that's why I asked, because I don't know.
Anybody want to take a stab at that? Ha ha, stab.
Bad pun.
Why did they cut the head off that? What is that? Is that something that civilized people do?
No.
Certainly not. That's
Well,
a
if you're
very
like,
savage thing to do. So it's just an illustration of how savage they've become. Okay. So
well, if
in
you're like a
chapter,
miner in Incan, that's civilized.
that is true. You're right. It depends on the civilization that you're living in, the society. Okay, so when we start chapter 9, Simon wakes up from having fainted, and he's obviously still in the same place. And he sees the Lord of the Flies again, and he decides to just get out of there. And as he's going back to where the boys are, he comes across the dead paratrooper. He sees something blue kind of moving, and he investigates, and he sees, now he knows what the beast is. There is no beast. It's just a person with a parachute who has died. So he wants to get back to the boys and tell them that so they can just be done with this beast business and all this fear. So before he goes, though, I can see my glasses are getting like a weird, when I'm in certain places, I can see my glasses are getting a reflection. Sorry about that. So before he goes, he loosens the ropes and he kind of frees the dead paratrooper, and then he leaves. So meanwhile, back at the beach, Ralph and Piggy have decided to go to Jack's feast. If you remember, Jack said he was going to have a feast and they're going to roast a pig and people are invited. So they decide to go because they're hoping that if they go, they can gain back some of their control that they once had.
Wait a
So
minute.
when they get to Jack, go ahead, David, do you want to ask a question?
Yeah, why didn't he search the paratrooper? Because technically every pilot is equipped with a flare gun.
Ah, that's a good point. I don't know. I don't know
Like,
why the
because
author didn't have him do
the-
that. I wonder if that was
Because
intentional.
it could.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to keep going. So Ralph and Piggy go to Jack's feast. And when they get there, what do they see? Well, you can just imagine what you are going to see at one of Jack's feasts. You see all the boys kind of painted up, Jack especially painted up, and they're laughing and they're eating and feasting. Jack is sitting like a king on a throne giving orders. Bring me this, do this, sit here, go do this. So he's loving his power because that's what he's been about from the beginning. He wants power. And now that he has it, he is loving it. So Jack and Ralph start talking, and Ralph reminds him, hey, Jack, I'm the leader. Remember, I was voted as the leader. Poor Ralph is just constantly trying to continue the civilized way of doing things, even though Jack's side, the savage side, has way taken over. So he says, hey, remember, I'm the chief. I have the conch. And Jack says to him, here, the conch shell has no meaning. So
Yeah, he's kind of right.
he says it doesn't matter at this end of the island. So meanwhile, what's going on in nature? Does anybody remember what's happening in nature while they're having this thing on the beach? What is the weather doing?
Clappy.
What is it?
Raining.
There
Isn't
is
it raining outside?
It's about to be a huge storm. So there are just, you can just tell that a great storm is brewing and is coming in toward the island. And of course, Ralph points out that Jack has built no shelters, so they have nothing to protect them from this huge storm that's coming in.
Well, they're screwed. They're screwed.
Right. Jack just ignores Ralph as per usual, and he tells all the boys to start doing their dance. And so all the boys start dancing around, and even Ralph and Piggy get caught up in the excitement of this tribal savage dancing. And they're like kind of standing on the edge of the group that's dancing, but they're still partaking in it. Then, as this is going on, Simon has made his way to the beach, and he's running toward them, and he's yelling at them that there's this or as much as Simon yells, he's saying that there's a dead man up on the mountain, and he's trying to tell them there's a dead man up there, but they don't hear him because they're so caught up in what they're doing. In fact, when Simon comes closer, they don't even notice that it's Simon. And then something really bad happens. So he keeps trying to tell them, but they're just doing their chanting. Kill the beast, cut his throat, spill his blood, do him in. They're chanting this over and over. And then they encircle Simon. So you can just imagine what's about to happen.
Oh, crud.
In their crazed state, they encircle Simon and they start beating him. They don't even realize what they're doing or who it is. And he ends up falling kind of down a little ways. They jump on him and they just start tearing him to bits with their claws. The author actually says claws and their teeth, and they end up killing Simon.
I was going to say Simon gets gutted, but...
And then the storm now comes in hard, and the rain is even blowing sideways. Have you ever been in a rain like that where the rain is there's wind and rain and the rain is coming in sideways? It's really chaotic and weird.
Yes, that's life in Ohio for you.
Yeah, well, I've had that here too. So in all this wind and storm, the paratrooper who was loosened by Simon, remember he ended his lines, gets blown off down onto the beach and ends up getting washed out to sea. Before that happens, the boys see a little something because it's kind of far away, and they start screaming and running into the woods because they think they see the beast. And Simon's body and the paratrooper's body are washed out to sea. And that's how the chapter ends. So let me ask you let's go over a couple things. So if the conch shell symbolizes civilization, what does it mean when Jack says that the conch shell doesn't matter at this end of the beach?
Thankfully, we're all set.
Uncivilized.
Exactly. It's a pretty clear,
they're
simple...
pretty much just saying we don't give a curse word about the law now. We're just doing whatever the heck we want.
Exactly. Well said. So let me say something about this storm.
Because that's what I would say.
When you are reading good literature like this is, literature, movies do it sometimes. When a storm and rain are always more than just a storm, a random storm and rain. They always have symbolic meaning. What do you think a storm, especially look at what happened here, what does a storm symbolize in literature, do you think?
Like the
Bad
climax coming?
Bad things are coming. Bad things are going to happen. Chaos, destruction, change, right? A storm is different.
Are you sure that hasn't already happened?
It's about to get worse. So that's why storm is that's why the author even put that storm in there. He didn't have to. Yes, it was part of the narrative where the paratrooper gets blown off the hill because of it, but the storm symbolizes something more than just a storm. And it's kind of a form of foreshadowing. It gives us like an ominous feeling, like things are crazy, something bad's going to happen. And with Simon being murdered by the boys, I would say that the last shreds of civilization are just gone. I mean, they use their teeth and their claws.
To get away from there.
They use their teeth and their claws. Why do you think the author why didn't they just stab him with their spears? Why teeth and claws? Why do you think he did it that way?
I actually believe that's a callback to how people when they first came to the New World saw the Native Americans, because there are actually some accounts that they actually said that Native Americans had claws and teeth that were super sharp.
I would
Uh,
disagree with you. And I mean, I'm not saying that that wasn't the case in Native Americans, but I don't think that's what why the author chose to say that. I don't think there was any reason for him to bring in the idea of Native Americans at this point.
I
So
know, but it's
why
because
teeth and claws? Why not just stab him with their spears?
because that's what beasts have.
It's much more brutal. It's much more savage. It's much more animalistic, right? And that's what that's what the author is trying to show here, how far gone they are. And also, what does it mean that the beast, what is the significance of the beast, the paratrooper, getting washed out to sea, never to be seen again? Why is that important, do you think?
Because now they have no proof that there actually was ever a paratrooper there.
Exactly. Now there's nothing.
Well, it's not
that's
like
going
they
to,
heard him. It's not like they heard him saying
right.
there was a
So
paratrooper
the
there because
fact
they were
that they
too
have no
busy
closure,
ripping him to shreds.
they have no closure on this beast thing. They're just going to
On this
go on.
beast.
Yes, they're just going to go on believing that there is a beast on the island that's trying to hurt them.
I thought that's why they killed Simon, because they thought he was the beast.
They actually did think he was the beast. I think, does that come in the next chapter maybe? I can't remember, but yes, they've got this idea. Jack gets this, well, Jack, who's always fixing it so he has power by keeping everybody scared and dependent upon him.
You tell a lie and you tell it big enough, and you tell a lie and you tell it often enough, it becomes the truth.
Okay, so chapter 10. The next morning after this happened, after Simon is killed, Piggy is just in a total state of denial about it. He just can't face what he has been a part of, what has happened. He just calls it an accident. And Ralph sees it clearly. He is very upset and he says, we took part in a murder. So we have Piggy and Ralph looking at it very differently. So now at Piggy's and Ralph's camp, not Jack's camp, there's only a few people left. You got Piggy, you got Ralph, Sam, Eric, and a few of the little ones. And Jack obviously has set up his tribe down at Castle Rock. That's that mountain in the very beginning. Remember when they went exploring and they found that section with the caves, and that was at the very end of the island, and the big pink granite area? That's where they are now. He has absolute power. In fact, he's taken it so far that he ties up and beats one of the boys in his tribe. We don't know why. We just know that that's what he has resorted to, which really isn't a surprise. He talks to Ralph. Not to Ralph. He talks to his boys about how Ralph and his small group are still a threat to the tribe. So why would he bring that? Why would he tell his tribe that Ralph and Piggy and the couple of boys that are with them are still a threat? What's the advantage of him saying that?
Because if they're out of the picture, there's no one to challenge him in power.
Exactly. And he wants his boys to get rid of them so that there is nothing to challenge his power. You are correct.
Sound like there's a war coming.
Yeah. Okay. So hold on one sec.
We're getting close to the end, though.
Yeah, we only have 2 chapters after, for next week. Okay, so they, like I said before, they all think Simon was the beast because Jack gets that idea going. And he says that they have to keep standing guard against the beast because it is never truly dead. Even though they saw Simon get washed out to sea and that other thing, Jack tells them it's not really dead. Again, why is he doing that?
Fear, to control them.
To keep them fearful, to control them. Exactly. Good.
It kind of sounds like what the Emperor does in Star Wars.
So then at the end of the chapter, that night, Jack and a couple of his guys sneak into Ralph's camp, and they do. They attack Ralph and Piggy, and they steal something. What is it that they steal?
A conch.
A conch.
No, they don't care about that. What is it? What do Ralph and Piggy have that they desperately need?
Piggy's glasses.
Piggy's glasses. They steal Piggy's glasses. So by doing that, now they will have fire, and Ralph and Piggy in that group will not. So they steal his glasses. That is
They still can. It's just definitely harder.
Yeah. So that's it for those 2 chapters. And any questions about them? Is everything clear to you about what's
Yeah,
going on?
I just want to say what Jack's doing sounds like what the Emperor does in Star Wars. He uses fear to control.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Lots
Like,
of people do that.
Unless you join us, the rebellion will take your stuff.
Right. So you can see that this story, this fictional story, does mirror things that happen in real life. And remember, Golding, the author, is trying to point out what's within all of us and how people can act in different ways depending on the situation, and what a kind of a role fear can have in your life and how it can control you. Okay, any comments? Anything else anybody would like to say about it?
No.
Yeah, can we agree that like kids in elementary school are savage even if they're in civilization?
They're more savage than they will be. Yeah, I mean, you have to be taught how to act in society.
Yeah,
That's true.
But they're still definitely savage.
They have some savage sides to them. Do you guys ever feel it come out in you? Do you ever get in situations where you can, I don't know, like actually that's a good point. When you're playing video games, which I guess everybody that's here right now plays video games, does that tap into your savage side, do you think?
Yes.
Yeah. And how does that feel? Does that feel really right and real and good in a way? Because it's a controlled situation. You're not actually in danger.
Yeah, but in a lot of games, I try and keep that in check because a lot of the games I play, you need to be strategic and wait for the right moment.
So maybe maybe you have to do that, but then it must tap into I think that's why these video games are so popular, because I think it just taps into something that is
we can't
deep in your DNA
otherwise.
that you don't get to express because we are living in such a civilized society. So that's just something to think about. What is psychologically what goes on with video games. All right, so we have 2 more chapters, and that'll be the end of the book for next week. And we have, what is this, end of week 6? We have 7, 8, 9. We have 3 more full weeks. And then we have the 10th week where we'll have our 2 exams. The writing exam will be on Monday of week 10, and the regular test will be on Tuesday of week 10. I might make them available earlier than that. Would anybody be interested in that? Maybe make them available in week 9, and then you can do it when you're ready. You might want to get it done a little earlier.
Yeah.
I'll think about that. Oh, and I want to say one thing about Quizlet. So we are to the point now with Quizlet where I only want you to go into the EOY lesson in Quizlet, because I'm not testing you on all the words that we've learned this year, only certain ones. And
Yeah,
I made a special,
I haven't seen all of them.
I made a special list, a special lesson in Quizlet called EOY test words or something like that. And I put that in LMS to guide you to the right place. So when I have that on the schedule for you now, like probably 3 days a week, I'll have that on the schedule to go to Quizlet. That is just me telling you, remember to consistently study your words. You don't have to keep doing those 5 sections that you've been doing, the spelling and the
writing,
the study section, whatever all that is. You don't have to do that. You can just use the flashcards if you want. Whatever you want to do in Quizlet to help you prepare, to make sure you know those words inside and out, it's up to you how you want to do it. Okay, so when you see it on your schedule 3 times in a week, it doesn't mean you have to do those same things over and over and over and over. Do them if you want. If you have other things that work better for you in Quizlet, do it that way. Okay, and then of course you can always use the cards that you made, but you just want to study, you don't want to study words that you don't need for your final. Okay, and that's that with that. That's all I have for today. Anybody want to say anything?
So when do we have a book project?
Oh, so your book project is going to be due, like, let me look at how I have it scheduled. Okay, it's due May 15th, which is 2 weeks from today.
How is it going to work since we're quarantined?
It's going to be the same as you. It's going to be just like the ones I normally give you. So you'll have options whether you want to answer some essay questions, or you can do the hands-on thing where you can make a diorama or you can make a poster, you know, all the normal things that I give you. And if you do one of those things, obviously you just have to videotape it, take pictures of it, document it so that I can see it from different angles and really understand what you did. Okay.
Okay.
That's what your book project will be. Thank you for asking about that. I did want to say something about that today. Any other questions?
No, I don't think so.
All right, guys. Well, we only have 3 weeks left. So do you feel like you're going to make it?
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that much time. We've done really well. You guys have all done really well with keeping your work up to date and doing a good job for the most part. You know, sometimes I can see you guys slack off or try to get one over on me. So, but I'm watching. Not everybody. Some people do that. Clara?
It just a lot of work.
Does what?
I'm sorry. It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. I know. I was giving you more work, and I keep cutting back, and I'm cutting back even more now because it is a lot of work. And as we get closer to the point where you're going to be studying for all these exams, I don't want to overload you with work. So is that Logan? Logan, what happened to you? You got knocked out?
Yeah, I accidentally got knocked out.
How much of the discussion did you miss?
Yeah.
Can you just repeat the thing about the project, please?
Oh, that's when you got knocked out? It's going to be the same exact things that I always give you for your project, either doing essays or you can do a poster board, a diorama, that kind of stuff. But I will post all that so you can see the exact directions and you know exactly what's expected of you. And remember, it's a high school level project, so if you're doing one of those hands-on things, it has to be high level. And there is a small writing portion that goes with those hands-on options also. Okay? All right, everybody?
Yeah.
Okay. I miss you guys. Do you miss being in the class?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. I really like working from home.
Very much
I
so.
remember a teacher at my old school had a sign that said, "Every student brings a smile to my face. Someone they walk through that door, and someone they walk out."
Yeah, well, that's probably true for me too. Anything else you want to say
No, ma'am.
as we go forward? Okay. Well, thanks for being here, guys, on your day off, and go have a nice, relaxing day, I hope.
You too.
And be careful out there.
Okay.
All right. See you later.
Okay.